Green one to keep it simple. Okay. So if you look at the power boards, right, you'll notice that um, you're going to see a little bit of power. Famajo. So yeah, I don't think I can share my screen in this format. Again, doing this is more of a podcast type thing. So this is a new thing that we're testing with the stage channels. I might go back and do it later. I just wanted to test it out for this week. So usually this is really used for more of if we have more than 99 or even let's say more than 50 people in the call, just because typically when you're screen sharing, you can only share with up to 50 people can actually tune into it, and then in a traditional voice channel on Discord, and you can have up to 99 people listening. So we're just testing out doing the stage channel this time, but next week I might go back and revert back to it until we eventually get to a point where we maybe have over 50 people. So this is just more of a test to see how it might work compared to how we usually do the town halls. But if you are in game and you're taking a look at the boards, and again, I'll voice it as best I can. But you'll notice number one alliance right now, I think, is Desi at 13.274 mil. And then you go down to number 6, and it's at 10.6 mils, right? So top 6 alliances are syndicate families. And then if you go to, I want to say it's 12 and 13, which is where Orion and One Syndicate are at. And they're pretty close, 9.6 and 9.9 mil. So I mean they're very close to catching, number 8. The numbers are not that far off. And I imagine once we increase our cap, which should be, I want to say today, for at least One Syndicate, I think Orion is pretty close as well. Then those are things to kind of keep in mind that they'll be able to work on. But the reason why you're probably seeing a little bit of a power gap is just because now alliances had just hit alliance level 4, and they also were working on big family 4. So, there's always going to be a short burst of power increase, and then after everyone kind of hits that new alliance level, right, over that next kind of week, you'll start seeing things balance out, right, as we have our system in place. A lot of the time, alliances just want to kind of hit max cap as soon as they can, while of course following along with the policies that we do have in place, which I think we just bumped it up to 35k now. So just meaning that the number 1 alliance can accept players that are 35k or under. Again, unless they are, and then if you're the number 2 alliance and so forth, then you can accept anyone until you become the number 1. But the idea there is that you want to at least monitor it. So, just because you're number 2 or number 3 doesn't mean you can just accept 10 people at 100k or 200k power, right, and just super boost up, right? You kind of want to do it in baby steps. So, if you're 50k behind number 1, right, you can accept one player, regardless of what their power is, if you know that it's going to boost you past number 1. But then the moment you become number 1, then that's where we have that going into effect, right? Where you would have the 35k and under rule in effect. And that's, again, as you saw in one of my last videos, we talked about that, right? When it comes to power balancing out alliances that are in your server, and all the great reasons for why that is, right? With keeping engagement high, player activity high, retention high, because people don't see that alliances are just getting wildly crazy powerful and it turning into that mega alliance style structure that I'm sure most of you are familiar with if you've played other kingdom builders. And because of that, players just feel more confident, right? They feel like they can participate and engage and win more events too as well, or at least that their alliance has the chance to compete, so it's not always one-sided. That's one of the biggest reasons why servers and kingdoms lose general activity and drop off over time, is because if 1 or 2 alliances are just always winning events nonstop, right, that's a big turnoff. And why typically those style of kingdoms usually do not have a wealth of activity compared to others. With that being said, again, that kind of just gives you a brief description on what you can expect to see probably over the next week. I know we're still waiting for some more alliances to hit alliance level 4. And let's take a look and see exactly how many are at alliance level 4 right now. So we have... Oh, wow. Cool. So we have 13 alliances have already hit alliance level 4. It's funny because Crimson was asking this to me yesterday about, some people were wondering if we're going to be able to hit alliance level 4, for the Chronicle. And I think everything was pretty aligned. I think most likely by the end, I would say before reset today, I would be extremely hard-pressed if we did not have DK or RGF or even KWT hit Alliance Level 4 by reset today. So I think on that front, we should be okay there. Again, we only need 2 more right now to complete Chronicle 9. And then let's take a look here. Chronicle 8 was already completed. Great. And then once that happens, that's when level 4. So level 4 and 5 buildings will become available, I would imagine, as early as today, before reset. And then for the City Siege event, which is our big server-wide event that we've been preparing and planning for right now, that ends in 2 days and 9 hours. So again, I would be surprised even if we didn't have the other 2 people hit Alliance Level 4 in 9 hours, right, to complete that, which would at least give us a 48-hour window to then go forward with preparing, right? So that way those alliances that are going to cap the level 4 and 5 cities can try and do 1 city a day, right? Plenty of time to prepare and set up. Outside of that, based on how the numbers are looking, again, kind of an update on the... well, and actually, let me say this as well before I even kind of get into the whole kind of KIP, GA, and Roy situation, right? With the City Siege, for some people who may not be familiar with the way that we're doing that, the way that it is set up is that we are, right, we pre-planned early on to have the top 20 or so alliances, or 20 alliances that are within the top group, included in that for distribution. Some of you probably have seen that if you've taken a look at the City Siege event channel, that everyone has access to view. That's in S36, and it just gives you a breakdown, right? Shout out to Manbeer Pig, who basically put this together, did all the logistics, and we worked on it. But he definitely did the bulk of the work, and we factored in, right? How are we gonna be able to get the max amount of green gems for as many alliances as we can to get the most out of what the event offers? And that's what we came up with. So we ran the numbers on, I think, 20, 26, 18, and like 30 alliances. And there was only 2 scenarios that were going to allow for us to get the most. It was like 36.8k gems was the most amount of gems that you could get no matter what variation of city distribution you did, right? So that's really what it's about here, right? This is that next level, end game, sharing is caring, bust out your Care Bear hugs type of initiative that we wanted to be about. We came into S36 with the idea of, you know, it's not just about Syndicate, right? We want to share with everyone. We want to get the most for everyone. And it's so awesome when we have so many players that are really invested in that goal and that mission, because doing something like this with what we've done with the City Siege event is going to allow for us to get the max amount of gem payout for the max amount of players and alliances in the server that are still active. And again, the reason why we set it as early as we did is because we didn't want to run into the issue of players, or better yet, alliances, saying, oh, well, hey, I moved up the board on, you know, 2 positions, put me into a new bracket. Or, hey, I moved down the board, but hey, can I still stay in my bracket? Or, hey, I just moved up 1 spot. Hey, I just moved up 1 spot. Can you move me up? I now need these cities, right? It's all to eliminate that level of chaos that could ensue. So that's why we came out with the list a couple days earlier, so we could lock that in and then make it easier when we go through the distribution process and the City Siege setup schedule times. And then, once this event ends, we will re-look at how to do distribution for Supreme Alliance, because that's the next big server-wide payout event for gems, right? So then we'll take a look at that. For now, though, does anyone have any questions before I kind of get into the next part? And if you do, you can, if you want to raise your hand, if you want to voice it, you can raise your hand now in the request using the stage request. And I think it's a little hand icon you should see. And if anyone does want to voice a question on anything I've talked about, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, if you're not in a position where you can talk, again, you can always type the question out in the Town Hall chat. And then, of course, I will answer it in there. Otherwise, I'll be going back and forth between any requests that come through. Oh, yeah. Bonbaro, thank you so much. I probably should have sent a screenshot with what it looks like. I'm sure that would have extremely helped. But thank you so much. That Dom was like, hey. Yeah. Yeah, you're the best, bro. Sweet, let me see here if anyone... Alright, no request. Oh, man, I'm trying to use this fancy stage channel, and just no one is utilizing its potential. No, it's okay. Let's see here. I can't find the town hall very top of the channels. Access it on mobile. Let's see. Restart the app. Update your Discord. Okay, what date is the city takedown happening? Sorry, Neff, what do you mean by that? Can you expand? Let's see here. Sorry, let me check the requests. No hand raises yet. Okay. Okay. All right, no worries. We will, let me move on and kind of give an update on the current kind of SS situation. Yeah, on the current situation for kind of what we have on the PvP side. Okay, now with that and where we're at now, let me just briefly touch on. So I know some people were pinging me, yeah, with kind of world chat going cray-cray to an extent this morning, and so with that, let me know where. And with that, I did have a chance to read a little bit, not too much, because I think it was kind of someone gave me a somewhat of like a TLDR wrap up on the situation, but with Kip, Roy, and GA, essentially what has happened right now, from what we've heard and seen, is that there were some GA players that left over to Roy. It seemed like they're trying to condense some of the activity from players that just want to fight or just do PvP in the server all the time. Keep in mind that for the most part, there's really only a handful of players in Kip, a handful in GA, and a handful in Roy. Right? I would maybe estimate anywhere between 10 and 15 players, excuse me, give or take, that are in some way, shape, or form consistently trying to go and fight. But for the most part, it's really condensed to just a few people, and you can tell that if you look at the honor boards. So if you go and look at the honor rankings, you can see that, you know, for the most part, right, it's really Nightmare, Altair, right? Those are like the two people that are really doing a lot of the fighting. If you scroll down the list for honor, right, you'll see, I think Ban is there at like 423, right? So there's 3. You got, let me see, Jutu, Zenus, Odir, Little Flame, right? So it's, what, 7? Is that 7, I think, if I'm counting right? Akin, a little bit, but dying off. Meliodas, a little bit, but dying off, right? So again, you really have, you know, as we were talking about early on, right? There's a handful of players that are really, and again, even that handful of those 7 to 8 doesn't mean that all of them are extremely hyper focusing on doing the PvP, right? It's really the top 2 there with Nightmare and Altair, with more so Nightmare, just because he has a bigger spending budget, is going around and doing like the hive attacks, so to speak, right? And player attacks. The most for everyone else is they're probably just doing slow relocations. They're just waiting. They're biding their time and waiting for people to hive up. And then if they get a notification of it happening, right, then they'll go. But they're not really going around and doing a lot of consistent hits, which is great. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I think this is a big point that a lot of people miss. This is a godsend, right? This is a blessing in disguise. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm probably going to make a video on it as well. Because, and I've talked about it a little bit in the, in World Chat, I think yesterday or the day before, when I had made a post or two about it. And, oh wow, someone just, oh wow, who attacked it? Oh, Nemesis. Why? Interesting. Yeah. Let's see here. Attack City. Oh, interesting. Could maybe. Ooh, I'll have to look into that. But anyway, so the idea there is, Alright, so give me 1 sec. I gotta push this because it's 19 minutes now. So, which I think is 29. Okay, great. So with the kind of good practices and tips that we have been providing to players, the important thing here was that it is important because with how we can go about basically defeating, I don't know if I say defeating, but mitigating a lot of the PvP essentially that is happening. Delay. Sorry, just typing some stuff here too. With that being said, right, some of the things that we can do. That's why we talk about things like spreading out, right? Don't cluster up. Try and stay at least 20 to 30, 20 to 40 kilometers away from other players. What that will do is, if no one groups and no one clusters up or hives, then if any of the bigger players want to go and attack people, they have to waste more AP to do so, right? Because each pixel or each God, I don't even know what you call it, right? But each point is each point that you go out is like 1 point added to your AP as far as distance for kilometers. So like every 1 kilometer is 1 additional AP point. So the idea there is to try and make them waste as much AP as they can. And because of that, right, that's why we talk about doing the spreading, the 20 to 30, 20 to 40 kilometers, right? Don't hive. The only time you should be hiving is before you go to, before you go to a city. And really the best approach there is to try and have everyone relocate so they land at the city, right? So like, let's say you're 30 minutes away and your siege is going to be at 15 UTC. Well, you would make sure that you are going to relocate 35 minutes before, so you have about a 5-minute cushion, because the march time is actually the total time. And then you would want, or not the march time, but the time that it says you're relocating is the total time. So the big thing is there to make sure that you are, to make sure that you are not, let's see here. To make sure that you're not relocating after the siege is going to start. So you just use some of those good practices. Now, you can either do the slow relocate, and that's why we tell people, like, you can, if you're going to take a city, at least in the current climate on S36, is you should move your city close to or around. Oh gosh, hang on, I have to tell people here. Let me see. Let's see. Someone's attack. Okay, great. Sorry, having to kind of go back and forth between messaging people. Again, the thing here is that's what we talk about. Sorry, the quick summary again, right? Don't hive, don't cluster. Stay 20 to 40 kilometers apart. You can move your city, or your player city, to a city that you're going to capture, but do it within that district. Right? Because if you relocate close to the city, but you're still a little ways away from it, then you can time out your relocation time, so that way you start relocating to the city while everyone is spread out within that district. Still practicing safe distancing, which is kind of a funny, I guess, COVID/non-COVID joke. I'm not going to go there that much farther, though. So outside of that, you can do that, or you can buy the territorial teleport. That's another option. And if you just want to TP in right before the siege starts, or at the time of the siege, you can do that too. But these are good practices that really everyone should be following. And then once the server becomes a little bit less, again, right, volatile with a few players that are doing, that are just going around, right, then at one point we're not going to have to worry about it. The great thing is that the amount of people that have actually been doing the PvP from that group of 7 or 8 has died down a lot, right? At once it was like 50 or 60 players from those groups that were attacking, and now basically almost no one is. If they're sitting there in the alliance, a lot of them, the majority of those players in those 3 alliances are not attacking, or players have left to join either our alliances or just other ones that are not those. So it's all really good in that sense for what we've been able to make our headway on in Server 36 over the past 11 days. And like I said, as long as we just keep being consistent, doing those kind of good spacing practices, and kind of anti-hiving practices, those are going to be really good things. The other thing I want to also give a big shout out to is for players that have been posting PvP courts. This is something I cannot tell you how underrated and really understated it is. I think most alliances now probably have a blacklist alliance group channel where you can add all your players to. Shout out to the person who gave me that tip or that channel idea to do that, because we do that. So for anyone new that joins the alliance, we add them to this blacklist channel, alliance group channel, that people can post chords in for any of those 3 alliances. I think most alliances, if not all of our syndicate ones, do have that set up. And even for the people that post in the PvP Chords channel that we have on Discord, I cannot say how valued you are for players that do that. Everyone kind of gets their own enjoyment out of the game. And, especially for people that want to engage a little bit more than just playing, it is amazing to see that level of contribution. And the fact that there's just so many of our players that are going around and attacking these players that are within these 3 alliances. But let me get back real quick. I want to talk about the big point that I was trying to talk on earlier, which is why it is such a blessing that we do have players in the server that are just doing PvP. Now, ideally, in the perfect world, it would be great if we didn't. But it is still an amazing blessing in disguise. And I actually think a small hint of rogueness or rogue players and alliances in your server is really I almost feel like I can't overstate it enough, but it is amazing to see. The reason why I say that is because, one, it allows for players to go out and honor farm without having to directly rely on your farm account to attack your main to generate honor. Because of that, it will let you climb up the honor ranks faster. It also lets you try and hit count level 2, which is the max honor level that you can get before that kind of depreciation starts settling in. This, I cannot tell you, is extremely important when it comes to how we are going to be able to prepare ourselves for when something like SVS and AVA comes around. It also has forced us to do things a little bit faster when it comes to educating players on good PvP tips, PvP practices, really getting familiar with how we might end up having to strategize for when server versus server comes around. And then, like I said, because we're able to go and attack these players, you're generating a lot of honor that you're getting from them, So in one sense, from their position, they may think, hey, look, they're just going to try and come in and destabilize the server, which, again, a few of them have said that for the reason why they've joined S36, with people like Nightmare and Altair who come from older servers, and that was basically their mission statement coming in, was that they just wanted to come in and wreak havoc, when in fact, I think it's really just making us stronger, and they're giving us an opportunity, because they're have some players, that they're somewhat, I don't know how I want to say uniting, but directing to go out and fight. It really is just doing us an amazing favor. So I mean, all I can really do is just be like, thank you so much for your contributions and support to the server, because it really is just that. And I think that if you look at, it's a lot harder to farm honor for your account if you're having to play a second account, which not everyone is going to want to do that, and even less people do more than 2 accounts. And so, it's really just speeding up the ability that we can farm honor, and then be able to reach that count level 2 for when that AV and the SVSs come up, which I can't say enough about how nearly important that is to try and do. So like I said, I think a lot of it comes down to perspective on how you approach the situation, but I still take it away as a ginormous win for S36 based on the current situation. And the fact is that less and less players are now fighting and doing PvP, as I mentioned earlier, It's really only down to like 7 or 8, a handful of people that are actually consistently going around and searching for people. And again, that's why we just apply those best practices. Outside of that, like I said, I think server growth and development is going really well. I know we already talked about some of the short-term and long-term goals that we kind of have coming up right now. The next big thing I think is going to be KE. And actually, before I even touch on that, does anyone have a question? Again, feel free to use the request. If you want to use that, the request channel, if anyone wants to voice or ask a question, you can do that, and I'll just kind of call on you. Otherwise, if you're not able to voice, you're more than welcome to type a question in the Town Hall chat, and I'll also read and go off of that. have to see. I think it's next week, though, for a kill event. It is. So it's on the 12th. So what's that, 8 days? Yeah, so we got about like 8 days away. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, let me see here. Sorry, let me check real quick on the channel if anyone had a hand raised. Nope. Gosh, no one is utilizing this amazing feature yet. It's okay. It just means that players might not be in a position to speak. No worries. As you can tell, I'm so excited. Okay, let me read through Town Hall chat and see if we have anyone. Let me see. Start. Let's see here. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any questions in Town Hall chat. Let me check. No request. Okay, so let me kind of move on then, and before we kind of open the general floor up, let me just kind of briefly talk about Kill Event and maybe some of the expectations that we'll have, because based on when it's coming in 8 days, we'll probably have a big meeting before that, which, again, Kill Event and like when Supreme Alliance is going to end is probably going to be the next big thing there. And so then from there we will move over to, let me see here, what am I at, 2 minutes left? Okay. So then we'll move over to talking about those and doing some early prep for that. But Kill Event most likely is just going to end up being a situation where we will set it up where the 3 alliances that we basically have been attacking or fighting against, if you will, right? We'll just keep attacking those players. And then for anyone that wants to do any general PvP, right, you just go to the Forbidden Zone, which is in the middle of the map. That's usually how we always do it, where any kill event work that happens will go to, will be done in the Forbidden Zone, right around the World Heart is, which is where you see those relic buildings as well. And there's this nice little circle border there, so that's typically where we'd always do the PvP, right? So even if the server was, a little more peaceful, or if we didn't have any rogues in the server, then that's how we would always do it. So anyone is able to do any PvP. Nothing can be done outside of that. So it doesn't matter if someone's not in an alliance, if they're inactive, right? If you want to do any fighting that is not against blacklisted players, then you go to the Forbidden Zone to do that. And that's most likely how it'll be set up for this upcoming, and we'll probably do more of an official announcement and set up for that as well. Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of open the floor up now. So if anyone has any questions at all whatsoever, again, you're more than welcome to, like I said, use that little hand icon on the stage channel or the voice channel that we're on now if you want to ask something over voice. Otherwise, if you want to type a question into the Town Hall chat, you're more than welcome to. But we'll go ahead and kind of open the floor up now for any general questions that anyone has. All right, let me see here. Yeah. Oh, wow, never mind. Oh, wow, the protection barrier is actually not on as long as I thought. All right, cool. We're going to siege in, let's do 6 minutes. Here we go. Let's do 15. All right, let me send out one more mail. I do see some people ask some questions. Give me one moment here. That's really cool. They updated the barrier time on after someone, like if someone accidentally hits the city or something. It used to be 15 minutes that you'd have to wait for the barrier after you hit a city, after the occupy time finishes, but it's only 15 seconds now. That's so much better. Oh god, I was worried. Cool. That actually makes me feel a lot better about my life. Sorry, let me ask some of these questions, answer some of these questions. So, let me see if Sally, can you still not here? Okay, so sorry, Fimajo asked, when will the new brackets for city distribution take place, or is that too far in the future? So yes, we'll do that after City Siege. So that'll be the next thing we work on after the City Siege event ends, which will be in about 2.5 days. So probably in about 3 days from now is when we will start looking at that and trying to do a little bit of prep. Weird. Are you in streaming mode? So let me come back and see if anyone has a hand up. No one has a hand up. It's okay. I'll just be depressed later. No, you're more than welcome, Famacho. More than welcome. Take care of my main account, which is in... Okay. Alright. Officer, no. Alright, let me come back and check. Alright, cool. So no, I'm still just going off town hall chat. But yeah, so I think that might be more or less. Again, I'll hang out for a little bit longer. Let me see where we're at right now in the recording. We're at 32 minutes. Wow, this is like pretty short for that. But yeah, I'm gonna hang around for a little bit longer. And again, if anyone has any questions, you guys are more than welcome to ask. I can hear you're just broken. Damn. Shots fired. I wonder why. Weird stuff. But yeah, guys, like I said, I mean, I'm just going to be hanging out for a little bit longer here. I might switch. I don't know. I guess I can't. This on the server. Oh, sorry. Manbeer Pig asked, is there a good way to tell... Hang on, I gotta do a 2-minute warning here. Hang on, 2-minute warning. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Hey, don't jinx it. Yeah, we'll see, man. Level 4 is gonna be interesting. I wanted to try and boost my... Well, let me do another gatherer out. Yeah, so I'll take a look at Alliance activity as well. Give me 1 sec here. I'm just trying to set some things up so I can power up. I'm ninnies. Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, give me 1 sec then. Hang on, Sally, I gotcha. There we go, cool. I don't think I can boost anyone's level up, so... Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe level 4 should be okay. We'll take a look here and see how we're able to do. I really wanted to try and boost up another one, but... Yeah, I don't know what else... Oh, I guess I could buy some stuff from the arena shop, but... Let's see here. Full Sparta. Nice. Time to waste some heals. Sorry, we're doing our city siege right now. If anyone wants to watch, it's on Sock Loop. For OS, we're doing ours right now. Yeah. Oops. Let me go back. Tack, tack. Here we go. Yeah, so we'll see if anyone counter sieges. I mean, typically, if they are going to counter siege, most of the time it usually would be after the wall goes down, because that's when you know the majority of AP has been wasted, just depending on how strong the alliances are. But we're doing really good work on the wall, actually a lot better than I thought we were going to do. I'm pretty excited, actually. I guess it'll just depend on how hard we're going to hit the garrisons, because I think my power at 31.6 is right around the garrison power for a level 4. Let's check that. Yeah, level 4 garrison power is 31,417, so I'm a little above that, which means each attack I probably can do 1 garrison point of damage. Oh my god, server chat is just full of gifs. What has this become? Oh man, too funny. Sorry, I don't know if anyone has a hand raised. Okay, no hand raised. Let me go back to Town Hall chat. Sorry, let me re-attack. Oh, sorry. Some people have questions here. Cool. Other questions. I'm going to read these while I am attacking this city. And I told my alliances when to record it, but the timing just coincided with our town hall, so. God, good thing I saved up a bunch of AP for this fight, too. Oh, do I have to heal? Not yet. I'm going to bulk heal in a sec. Okay, sorry, let me read some of these questions here. Yeah, Dukes. No need to degrade anyone. So, and also keep in mind that being a certain position in an alliance does not immediately mean that they should be high power. Typically, the only people that are really going to be high power, depending on what you're even gauging as high power, is either going to be if they're spending money, and then of course at what level, or if they're playing multiple accounts to feed their main. Otherwise, most people, even like myself, right, are not going to be high power. I guess highish power. I think it also depends on the timeline of the server, right? Did you start day 1? Did they not start day 1? I think Sally or Ninny's, in her case, she didn't. But again, right, you and others wouldn't know that, which is why I think it's also good just for us to kind of be generally cautious of things we say, so we're not making assumptions, because that usually leads to unfavorable situations. So I appreciate you. Got your back, ninnies. Got it. Sorry, let me read some more of this chat before I go buck wild here. Again, if anyone has a question, please feel free. If you want to use the voice hand. Cool, awesome. So we got 23 here. Let's see how much damage I'm going to do to this garrison. I'm really curious. 23. Yeah, we've got 11 minutes left, so should be enough time. Oh, wow. I don't even think I did 1 point of damage. Oh, it's depressing. I thought I would at least... Oh, no, that's probably why. It's probably because... Oop, I need to heal. 1 sec here. And then I'm totally going to read these questions, so people don't get mad at me, because I can feel the hate. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't know if... Wow, I might have to ask someone. Ugh. Yeah, we'll have to see here. Anyone from... Ooh, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's the problem, is I just don't think we have anyone big. Let me wait for 5 minutes real quick. And to see how it goes. Okay. That's probably I'm going to do some cap training. I'm totally going to answer this question too as well, even though I'm just talking to myself at this point. I have not forgot about you. lot of healing. I might have to come in and ask. Let me see, 10, 20. Just to get them low. Oops, hang on, let me keep attacking. Where's my thing here? Yeah, that's the challenge, is that I might need to ask a big person to be like, hey, can you just come hit these like once or twice? Yeah, that's the challenge. Sometimes. Oh no! No. Oh, and there he is. Fantastic. Yep. And there's the port. There's... Oh, nice. Oh, Valve. Sweet, Valve came in. So sick. Oh, nice. Oh, hang on. Let me... Why can't I click on this thing? Oh, it's not letting me click on my... Nice. Valve came in to hit... But Nightmare and Jutsu came in to attack. No! Yeah, well, this is why I think sieges are probably going to have to start being done later in the day during their off times as well. I already figured it was somewhat of a... Oh, wow, I'm already at AP. Shocker on that. Sorry, give me one sec, guys. I just have to alert. Why isn't it letting me... Sorry, I'm trying to go into some of these other channels, but it's not... Sorry, let me ping one more time. T. Showed up, coins above. And, Daddy just got ported out. Sad life. Let me see. Showed up, coins above. Yeah. It's all good. Vel's there. He should be able to do Jutsu. Nightmare will probably just be iffy. I'm going to have to TP back. Sorry. And then I'm totally going to read the chat messages, so give me a brief moment here as we attempt to try and still take the city. Yeah. Might have to wait until we're a little bit stronger. Yeah. So, but Desi came. Oh, cool. Valve's there. I don't know if anyone else came. That's bigger. I don't know if Valve can still get... Oh, wow. If that's Valve's main march, that's rough. I wonder if Cali can beat... What are you at, 44? I wonder if Cali can beat Zenus. 44. Oh, wow. Yeah, he can. Cool. Wow. Awesome. So that basically just leaves Freya, her and Freya. I just don't know what Freya's thing is. Oh, Krishna came in, too. Very nice. Man, look at that dope support, man. Dope support. Too bad. I just don't think that... I don't know if Fram is on. Sorry, give me one moment here. I'm trying to look at some stuff. Because I think Fram might be the closest. If you are... Hit... Nightmare. He is... Sorry, yeah, I think Fram's probably the closest one I think that could do. I don't know how Felv. Yeah, might just have to cancel it, power up a few days, and then come back. I thought we would have been strong enough because I know we have a few people that are over the garrison power. So we'll have to see. Let me see here. And then I'm about to get to the questions, because most likely this is probably just going to end up as a failed attempt. And then I'll just have to tell people to move and shield, and then we can try for it in 2 more days. That is the challenge, though, when people level up the cities. That's why we were trying to tell people early on, don't level up the cities until we get to final distribution, because it makes it easier for everyone to capture. And then it's just less help that everyone needs as well. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah. I think that's probably how we'll have to play it. We'll have to wait for alliances to be overly strong over the garrison power, so that way the cities can be taken faster, which is less time that we're burning. Anyways, always nice to have... Yeah, and then we'll probably have to just set our siege times for later when they're offline. And that'll probably be the better way to approach. Okay. Well, easy fix. Oh. 2. Yeah, still is. Alright, let me go ahead. I'm just going to send a message to everyone, and then I'll get right back to the answering those questions in Town Hall chat. So, let me just tell people to... We'll just do spread and siege. Yep. Let me just send a mail. Okay. Here we go. Let's see, a few players came to... Imploring... Okay. Okay. Awesome. So I think we're okay. I don't know if Ram... Yeah, I don't know if Ram's coming or not, and I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to the questions now. Now that I was able to just send some mails out, and then also... let's see here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to send a mail out and let people know what our new strategy is going to be now. Yeah. I mean, I think we probably could still take it. It's just, I think Velv and a few of the others would have to attack it. And there's only a minute left, so I would have had to coordinate that ahead of time. And I just don't think anyone is... I think Fram's probably the only one that might be able to get some successful hits off on Nightmare 2 as well. But the thing is that Velv and the other big guys, over time, will actually kill off the true power. So eventually, again, if they're able to kind of out-resource, it's just the challenge is typically if you have more power and you're getting victory wins, you're doing more, you're incurring more dead and more wounded on your opponent, meaning they have to spend either more money or more resources to catch up, right? That's why the benefit of you having a stronger troop power than your opponent, even if you're trading, you're still doing more overall damage. Which is why it's important to have. It's either important to be stronger than the person you're attacking, or have a few people there that are, or have a few people there that are at or close to, not that far away in troop power, and then you're basically just attacking that person at the same time. Then you can also pretty much achieve the same end result. So Like if Velv and Fram and like KLR, right? Like if those three guys and maybe Bowser, right, were all attacked, like encircled, like if they surrounded Nightmare and swarmed him and were just hitting him constantly with their marches, right? They would more or less still do the same exact amount of damage overall that one person would do if they had a stronger troop power than Nightmare, right? Like yesterday, I think Velv had a stronger troop power than Nightmare by a couple K, and he was just doing work on Nightmare. So again, like I said, I think easy new tactic. I thought we actually would have been strong enough to take the city, but worst case, I think that's what we're going to have to do. We'll just do it where we just wait for our average, the majority of our players to be at the garrison power over, and then that will make it a lot easier to do faster city caps in the future. So anyways, good thing to know. Sorry, let me get back to these questions now. That I was able to. I'll cry later. All right. Let's see here. And not the people. Sorry, yeah. So someone asked me about the top alliance activity right now. Yeah. So let me look at that. So right now there is. Let's see here what we have. So, again, I want to say it goes down pretty far. Let me see. Let me start off at number 30. So number 30 is close. Okay. Yeah, so pretty much right around number 30, I would say. Probably you're still having, I would say about the top 30 alliances are still active. I mean, even if you look at their member caps, right, they're pretty close to max. Again, we don't know for certain if those alliances are how many silence, right, or inactive players are in them. But it at least gives us a gauge that the alliances are full, because once you start going a little lower than that, you'll start seeing the numbers drop off a bit. And then I think also you can look at power progression, right? I think somewhere around now, I would say somewhere kind of around that 6 to 7 mil point is probably more of your free-to-play range. And once you get a little higher than that, right, you're kind of getting more into having some spenders in your alliance. So you kind of have to look at it from like, what's the average free-to-play power that an alliance would be at around this time? And I would say somewhere probably between like that 22 and 28 power ranking range. Right, somewhere around that kind of 6 to 7, 6.5 mil is probably what you could expect. So again, with that being said, that's why I think, we still have, if you're looking somewhere around that top 28, top 30, I think we still have fantastic activity in the server, especially for where we're at. Sorry, and then let me get to Purple had a question as well. And yeah, it looks like Valve just might trade. And Nightmare, oh yeah, maybe he ran out of AP, or maybe he's just waiting. These people in my chat. Yeah. Cities, unless we have any sorry, let me ask. Sorry, let me see what Purple had question-wise. Yeah. We will make sure that our these guys, oh my god. People in my alliance are like, hey, let's just spend more money. Yeah, it's always a solid answer. Sorry, let me get back here. Purple, let me answer your question. Sorry, I'm also paying attention to the other, if anyone has any requests. No, not yet? Okay. Let me go back to Purple's question. So he asked, I have a question about the blacklist. Considering your earlier comments on how players who are engaged in server disrupting PvP has dwindled, When is it time to take the alliance themselves off the blacklist and just make the players individually the blacklist again? If I'm out dragging my city around and looking for targets, I'm not super keen on just busting up some low-level player from those alliances. But if they are on the blacklist out of principle, I'm going to hit them. Yeah, so, and like I said, I think that is a good way to approach it as well, Purple. And I think that's how... I think that's definitely how players can do it, even going forward. I'll make an update to that too as well on the Blacklist channel. Is that if it's someone super low level and they're not, right, then yeah, really try and go after the high level players that are doing it. And we'll probably put together somewhat of a soft list as far as for names that we see consistently are fighting as well. So I do think that is a good point. And for the most part, I mean, I do the same thing, right? If I'm going around and looking at players in any of those three alliances, it's really me going and attacking, first off, ones that I can actually beat based on my garrison power, because that's important. And then secondly, ones that are typically a little bit higher in power as well. So I couldn't agree with you more. And that'll be something that we'll definitely update today too. Bump up. Let me see here. Starsy said... Hey, alright, let me see here. Be the lone wolf. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a new app code. Huawei app is the new one. Let's see, sorry for the redeem codes. Huawei. What did I get? Ooh, wow, that's actually oh my god, that's like the best redeem code I think I've seen so far. I never see a redeem code with with 3 philo stones and 300 gems, plus other stuff. That was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, cool. Let me go back to farming my butt off. Sorry, yeah, what's good? Shouldn't that be? Okay, cool, sorry. Sally said, I'll hit 40 in a few hours if I want, but I'm new to this game, so don't want to whale it without having any information. Yeah, is Sally still here? Can she... Let me see. Are you here still? If so, can you hear? Can you hear now? I don't know. Oh, she is. Cool. Oh, awesome. Let me see. Can she hear? Oh, you can hear. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so, it's funny because I know you came from Hadama's group, so like a little history lesson, or I should say friendship history lesson there, right? When I was still playing Rock, which is about 8 months ago, Hadama had joined one of my jumper projects. So I ran 4 really big jumper projects in Rock. They were all between about 500 and 800 players that we were able to recruit within like 2 to 3 weeks of the project starting. And 3 out of 4 of them went on to have a successful KVK1. One of the other ones basically kind of placed like middle of the pack in their KVK1. But we were always very good at building great foundations for servers, at least for the projects that I organized and managed. And Hadama had joined one at the time, and then me, him, and Shadow were actually trying to get into... We were looking at Call of Magic. He was just the one out of the 3 of us that... and Shadow's another spender friend that we had also playing with us in IK, but Hadama was just the one that stuck it out in COM a lot longer than we did. And I've got him into IK a little bit here and there, but it looks like this time around he might be sticking a little more into it compared to when he tried playing it a little bit earlier. But it was really cool to see a lot of people from COM coming over to check out IK As I mean, Hadama's a great guy. I've known him for a while now. And but as far as like the whaling part and spending, yeah, like Sally, if you ever want to like talk one on one or kind of go over stuff as far as what to spend or what to buy to try and min max and be as efficient as you can, I'm more than happy to help anyone out in that regard. Otherwise, if I'm not on, I can refer you to some of my good friends that play IK and they whale and they can let you know as well if I'm ever not on. One person you can ask, coincidentally and no pun intended, is Ask. He's the mod, one of the mods that's on the server. If you look at the member list, he's also a whale. He plays here with an account, but he's going to be migrating his main over. So he's someone else that you can ask if I'm not online, or if you just can't reach me. But yeah, if you ever have any questions, please feel free. Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if you want me to kind of run through a few things right now, then what I could tell you is, if you want to spend early, it's probably easier to go Earth. And the reason I say that is for a few... I wish I could share my screen right now in this Stage Hall channel. I would actually have to switch over. Let me see if... let me do this. Hang on, give me one sec. Let me see if I can switch the channel. I wonder if I can switch it from a stage channel to something else. I don't think I can. I think I have to make a new channel. Let me do this. Give me one moment. I can't. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I can. Here, let me just do a standard voice channel. Let's go... Town Hall. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been on Discord for a little while. It's just the stage thing's new, so I wasn't sure if they added in a feature where you can, like, transition a channel type. That would be pretty cool. But it doesn't look like you can. Okay, so let me do this. I just made a new voice channel. I wish I could move everyone over there into that. I just don't think I can. But yeah, let me head over to the other Town Hall meeting channel just so I can screen share. So if you're still listening, feel free to go ahead and join that one. I'll manually move people over if I'm able to from the stage to that one. If not, just join that channel. I'll be screen sharing, so you'll be able to see it from there. Okay, cool. Let me do this screen. Let me do this next two. Okay. Doesn't look like I can see anyone from that. So I'm just gonna delete the channel. That'll make it a lot faster. So then people come over to this one. Yeah, we'll do that. So yeah. So, because I've spent a little bit on my account, but nothing to the point where I would really be able to do anything, unfortunately. So, but let me see real quick what I can do. So sorry. So, like I was saying, right, Sally, early on. Let me show my screen real quick. So, and then let me kind of go in, and I can show you a few things. So. Right now, Nightmare has strongest March at 88.3. Right, Fram is really close. Velv is there too. Typically, how PvP works is that you can trade. So ideally, if your primary March is stronger than an opponent's second March, and you're just trading one-on-one blows with each other, then you can still get victories off someone. But if the second March is stronger than your primary March, then they can garrison and defend with their second March, right? It's pretty simple there. Ideally, if you are... Yeah, so I wouldn't go for Holy. And the reason why, or I wouldn't really even go for Shadow, with the exception of maybe some scenarios, but I would really only do that like mid to late game, and that's just because there's not enough Immortals yet for you to get the max synergy buffs off of them. And an example of that is if you go, like, let's say into your troop screen, you can see this. And again, if you're not talking, if you guys don't mind muting your mic, Amakua, we can just hear a little bit of background noise. Thank you. So, I appreciate you, bro. And so if you go to, for example, like, let's say you click on the synergy, right? This is really important because you can see that you'll get, if you deploy 3 of the same unit, 4 or 5 of the same unit, right, you get these additional stats. Now, health is by far, HP is by far probably the most important stat in the game. And the biggest reason why is because your skill usage is factored, and then additional stats like resilience and other things are factored off of health. So like when you're doing a skill damage, that will go off your total health or your total HP that you have in your load, factoring for the percentage of it. This is something we confirmed with the devs too as well. You might also see people talking about it on the official IK Discord and the Formations channel as well. Did you watch my first video? Differences. Sorry, I'm just messaging Hidama. So, like, this is important to go off of, right? When you're looking. This is why going with, like, a 5 synergy buff, especially once you eventually get your Immortals to level 40, is really important, because that 10% HP is going to scale along with the other buffs as well. They're going to scale a lot higher off of that. Especially when you're looking at things like what equipment maybe you want to do end game if you really want to transition anything, right? For the most part, equipment is pretty simple because it'll recommend you the next best equipment slot in there. So it's kind of like foolproof in that regard. Yeah, so you know what I would say is really, if you're gonna spend at all, I would say go Earth early. Now, there is a caveat here because it depends on how much you're gonna spend. If you're like low to mid spend, then I would probably say, yeah, go Earth. Well, I'll be honest. If you're low spend, I probably would actually just say like stay water, just because of its ease of use. If you're somewhere within that low mid spend range, I would probably say Earth is ideal. Okay, fantastic. All right, well, yeah, never mind. If you're giving me a budget number to work with, then I could probably give you a little bit different. So let me show you this on screen. So let me say this first. Meta comps right now are really how long are you guys speaking? Sorry, Hawaii. What do you mean? What do you mean? So meta comps right now are really like fire and lightning. Wind is a little bit up there, but I like. Oh, I'm sorry, Hawaii. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just saw that you are speaking here, and I'm just wondering how much did I miss?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, not that much. I'm recording it as well, so I'm going to upload it later as a VOD.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No worries at all. So the reason I say that is like, and I did a video covering this as well, which, oh god, let me see if I can find it. But the video I did, in my opinion, is probably the best video out there right now as far as the current amount of information and type of information that people are giving out when it comes to how to really go about picking immortal compositions, because there are a couple factors that you really want to look into. But let me see if oh gosh, give me one sec. Let me scroll down, because I think it's a little far. No, that's my jumper guide video. Here it is. Okay. Hang on. Let me just get a shareable link for you. So whenever you get time, watch this video, because it really talks about, do a damn perfect 2 marches if you spend a lot. So yeah, you can, the thing about like IK is that a lot of it early and mid game, even going to early end game, is really going to be about like full synergy marches, and that's mainly because not enough players have reached end game yet, because the game is new, right? The game came out January 28th of this year, so the game is 3.5 months old. Even if you factor in all the players that were playing beta, like myself, a lot of those players are probably not playing on their main account. Like I had an account up to like 500k in S8, and I just stopped playing it altogether. And that was because I knew I just wasn't going to play. Right, and I just knew I wasn't going to play. Sorry, yeah, too many things to cover. Sorry, yeah. Anyways, let me not get off tangent. Let me keep it super simple, because it'll just give you more time to kind of like soak things up over the days. If you really want to keep it simple, I would say, at the moment, I would go Earth. And these are the things you want to buy. And the reason I say Earth as well is just because you're not going to be able to unlock Endgame Fire for a little while until like they come up in for season rewards and other things like that. Lightning is probably going to be a little bit easier, but you're still going to have to wait until like day 40 day 20 until Genghis comes up in a pack. So Earth right now I would say is the best to really focus on if you want to invest some money. So this is what you're going to do. Let me tell you first off. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Let me give you the Earth comp first. So you're going to go Charles, which you can get from a bundle. Sorry, why am I clicking on this? Let me click. So you go special bundles. He'll be the Grand Promotion bundle. So that's him right here. This is the other thing about Grand Promotion bundles. You want to buy them because this one lasts 20. So you have 3 epic heroes, which is kind of like if you've played Rock, it's similar to MGE, where you'll have like new MGE heroes that last for like 4 cycles and then a new one will come up. So you want to make sure that you purchase the Grand Promotion bundle first because it'll save to your inventory. Meaning that if you don't buy this in 8 days and 8 hours, you lose out on it, right? Meaning you'll probably never be able to get Charles again unless it comes back some other way. So you're really in a good stage right now. So you buy Charles, and then after you buy him, the pack name will change. It'll still be a $99.99 pack, but it'll save, so it refreshes every day, so you can keep buying it. So Charles is a must-have in Earth. You're also going to want to go into VIP, right? And with VIP, you want to buy Zenobia, right? So you want to buy all of the VIP packs that have Zenobia in it. In addition, if you're able to get to max VIP like 15, you actually get this really dope Shadow Dragon skin, which is really cool. I don't think anyone here has hit VIP 15 yet because otherwise you'd see it. We had a few people that hit it on S8. But the dragon skin is really dope. It's like an interactive thing that you get on your city, and when you click it, it does like this really cool like lightning animation. Way better than the rock skins, in my opinion, because these ones actually do animations when you click on them, which is cool. And obviously just for the inherent buffs. VIP is a mil. So in Rock, it was 1.5 mil to hit VIP 15. In IK, it's 1 mil. Someone did the numbers on it. If you're just purely spending gems, not getting anything, it's like, I don't even know, it's like 7, I want to say like 7 to 10 grand. Something like that. Someone did the VIP cost on it. It might be in the server chat. Well, the thing is that when you buy bundles, Sally, you will get VIP points that you can use to it as well. And sometimes it's good to have some VIP, always keep a little bit of gems on hand just in case you ever need them for emergency situations. Like I know Velve keeps around, like he likes to keep around 10k VIP in his pocket just for anything that might pop off. But if you're just purely spending because you want to try and level up as fast as you can, then I would say it's probably okay to invest into VIP just because the benefits are really amazing, especially once you start getting to some of the higher levels. Like once you get to, God, where is it? I think it's 11 or 12. So like once you start getting to 12, that's when you'll start seeing like the really good benefits come through where, oh, you still have 19k, yeah. And I say that because like you'll start getting the immortal attack percentage buffs, and let me see what else you get. I think it's that, and then once it goes forward, yeah. And then you'll get the immortal defense. So you'll get like immortal defense first, and then you'll also get the immortal attack. And then once you get to VIP 13, that's when you'll really start getting like the crits. You'll get defense. You'll get other bonuses as well that play into it that really help out a lot. That's why I think VIP is really underrated for why people don't give it more value for what it offers. But let me not get off topic. And if you want, Sally, I'll write you up something too. For any of like Hadama's friends that have been coming through, like I send them a bunch of like tutorial messages, so I'll send you those as well for what I've been sending them, and I'll also give you a spending guide. And then if you'd like, what I'll do is I'll tailor a spending guide just for you on like, this is the comp to focus on, right? These are the things to buy. This is what your daily routine should be, right? To max out your comp as quick as you can. And I'll write you something customized if you'd like, if that helps as well. But while I'm kind of going through this right now, again, other way to increase capacity of troops. So boost level, if you do Well of Time. So you want to try and advance in Well of Time as fast as you can. Yes, and nobility will do that as well, right? From honor farming, so it's like your boost level, well of time, even doing equipment. All of those things go towards. So nobility is honor points. So if you're looking at my screen, you'll see it here. If you click on your profile, you'll go to nobility. So like if you've played Rock, like if you do a lot of PvP in Rock, you don't get any benefits from going and doing PvP. In this game, you do. So the more PvP you do, right? This is why once you start leveling up, you can start going and attacking like the people that we have on our blacklist. And eventually, if you end up getting more powerful than Nightmare, then you can just go around and basically hunt him all day. Like we have a PvP Chords channel in the Discord where all we do is post like the top players' coordinates from any of those three alliances. And then in addition, which I think you're in as well, which is our blacklist channel that we have in the OS Alliance, and all the other alliances do as well. All we do in there is post chords for people. But the reason why nobility is important is because you get passive benefits from just going and doing PvP that factor into increasing your troop number, which increases your total health, which will increase your damage scaling. And I know I'm saying a lot, so I'll just keep it simple. The more PvP you do, the more honor points you get. And then the higher, and then you'll upgrade your nobility rank. You want to get to count level 2, which is the highest you can get before your honor points start degrading. But you have to be Lord level 30 in order to unlock it. But you'll see you get plus 550 troop number for each of your... Oh, my voice is good, thanks. I try to enunciate my grandmother. I lived with my grandparents for about 2 years, and one of the things my grandmother always told me on a daily basis is she said, you need to enunciate and then pronounce your words correctly, young one. And yeah, anyways, that's what she told me growing up. So I always try to speak as clearly as I can when I'm able to remember to do so. But as I was saying, the big reason why you want to try and get to count level 2 is because of all these bonuses that you get, right? You get all of these passive bonuses, troop number, right, for each of your immortals. You get the strength and intelligence, all these passives that you get from getting here, right? But you have to get to 5 mil points, right? And be Lord level 30. That's why the more PvP you start doing from the beginning of a server, well, let me clarify. The more honor farming you do from the beginning of a server, whether that's your farm account attacking your main account to farm it, or if you're in a server and you can do forms of controlled PvP like what we're doing, where we're just attacking people on the blacklist, it helps. But anyway, sorry, let me get back to my point. So Charles we talked about for the $100 pack. Then we talked about Zenobia, which you get from VIP by buying those packs as you level up. And like I said, you want to buy all the VIP packs that offer Zenobia. And then from there, you want to unlock Cleopatra. Now Cleopatra is free. You can unlock her in Hall of Immortals, and over time you'll unlock her just from doing more pools and more shards that you get. After that, you probably want to go... So it just depends, right? The flex option here is that you can go Alexander or you can go Leonidas. Now... It kind of varies depending on who you ask. Like, Leonidas has an AoE skill that you can use, and he also takes damage reduction. So some people like pairing Leonidas with Charles because basically Charles is like the best tank essentially in the game, and Leonidas is basically acts as like a mini lighter tank version. You did 9 times stones of 400 stones. I would say that's shocking that you haven't got one yet, a legendary pool, but I will tell you that you will get one over time. And you might notice that they'll come more often. Like, in my account on S8, I probably did about 300 pulls, and I never got an epic. But then, when I got to around 350, I got back-to-back epics in like 2 or 3 pulls, and then a pull or 2 later, I got another epic. So, trust me when I say it really is random. I've seen I've seen a farm account in a server pull back-to-back epics in their first 2 pulls. Trust me when I say it really is completely random, right? Like it's not a gotcha thing where they're out to get you. We have thoroughly tested this. Though that is not to take away from the unfortunateness of you not getting an epic, and I do feel for you on that because I have been there myself. But yeah, so again, right, go Cleopatra. Eventually you'll get Cleo if you just keep doing enough pools. Whether that's you farming shards for her over time. Yes, excuse me. Epics are gold in the game, right? So, like I said, it's Charles, Zenobia, Cleo, and then again, you can go Leonidas if you want, or you can go Alex, and I'll show you Alex as well, which is right here. So Alex is, if you want to do right, so he's basically attack speed, increased damage, and he grants immunity to all control effects. So again, I think Alex is okay. But I think Alex is a little more one-on-one, right? So it's like I think Alex is a little more situational. Like if you need to line him up against a specific immortal that isn't really as that maybe is a little more squishy as a frontline because maybe they're like a glass cannon frontline epic build. You could put him there. If maybe you want to line Alex up to like try and counter Charles a little bit, just because he has the increased attack speed and damage he's doing. I still feel like Leonidas might be a little. I don't know. It's iffy because increasing attack speed means that you're generating your skill more often, so you're going to hit it more often as well. But at the same time, I think Leonidas' skill is good in its own right. So I think it just depends. I don't know. Hawaii, have you who do you like more over Alex Leonidas? I don't know if you've experimented with both.
Yeah, I can tell my opinion in this option. So I would go, okay, if we are talking of doing only one march, then I would go Alexander, even though he's attacking only single target, but since you kill that single target as soon as possible, then all your damage will go straight to another one. And that way, I think it's just more beneficial to kill one enemy immortal as fast as you can. And it gets you more benefit than like doing damage to all of them at once.
Okay. No. I think that makes
That's my
sense.
opinion.
Yeah.
But if you, yeah, if you,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, unless he cut out.
attacking with his main, still not many people can uh, defeat him because his wind march is pretty strong as well. So if we have any really big spender, I think that he or she would better go two marches. And if we are talking of building two marches, we should pay attention of Tower of Knowledge so that knowledges can be uh, given to both of my marches. And you know, like I would go Earth and Wind, and since for Wind, Queen increases the attack speed for all your immortals, right? So we need something that some knowledges that affects your normal attack damage, like combo, for example. Uh, and here, Alexander needs this combo as well because of his active skill. So if we're doing two marches, then I would go Leonidas instead.
Yeah, so I think in short to compartmentalize that, so it's a little a little simpler just in terms. I think given that Alex would probably be okay to start off with. So that way, if you want, you can, like I said, you can go Charles, Zenobia, Cleopatra, which is your backline, and then you would also have Zenobia for your backline. Then Charles and Alex would be up front for you, Sally. So I would do that, and if you want, like I said, buying. So let me talk a little bit just about packs, so I can like condense a little bit, just in case you might be pressed for time. Um, so what you'll do there when it comes to like bundles, and again, I'll write all of this up for you as well. And for whatever reason, if you want to try, if you want to try Leonidas over, that's fine too. I think there are a lot of good points though that Hawaii brought up for Alex that I equally see. So I think that could be a little bit more advantageous, especially if you're trying to invest in power of one march, because you can always build up a second or third march as well over time, Even if you look at like Valve's situation, like his primary is like an 83k, but then his second and third are like 40k and 36, right? So you're still going to be slowly working on your other marches as well. Mainly your additional marches are mainly just for gathering, so you can keep them out longer, right? Less overall time management and microing you have to do on the account. So as far as bundles go, though, outside of the Earth Start that I recommend, I would say Head Start. You want to max this bundle out. There's 3 of them that you can buy. Any bundles I would say that give you Philosopher Stones, you can really never go bad with those. Again, after you purchase Grand Promotion, you'll have that saved up daily. Probably for you, purchasing the Dragon's Descend is probably going to be a great pack because it'll help you level up your dragon in addition to giving you more stones, which will help you skill out your dragon even more, as dragon is really like the X factor. Immortal Promotion, I would say max this bundle out daily. Again, if you need speed ups, then I would say, any of these packs that give you speed ups. Sorry, let me see here. You said if I use March and it's in my city garrison, my city will that can fight with the attack troops with better March. Sorry. My bad. I'm sure as I was reading that, you're like, maybe he's not understanding. Can you read?
I guess she's asking, like, she wants to do 2 marches, so that one march she can set as a garrison, and the second march she can use to attack other players.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, if you want to do that, then I would probably... Oh, yes, that. Okay. So I was like, yeah, just that. So if that's the case, I would probably say... Oh, God. Yeah. I mean... Yeah, I would probably say either... let me see real quick who is... Give me one sec. Let me take a look real quick and see. Because I don't think you can get... One sec. I'm trying to think about the fire, because I think fire is a great march if you want to spend. It's just that just because I think it's more meta late game that you would want to do. So I think if you're going to try and do 2 marches, I would probably just go Earth and Fire. In my opinion, I think that would probably set you up a lot more. With that being said, though, fire, like for example, if you look at Nightmare's build, right? I mean, you could near mimic that as like an ideal fire comp. Like his march is, well, I'm sorry, he's mixing 2 as well, right? So he's flexing with Cleo, but he has like Ashoka, Hippolyta, and then Frederick, right? The only piece that he's really missing in that is Empress Wu. So, again, but the problem is you can't get Empress Wu yet. You have to wait because you have to play heist. You have to wait for COR to come, which is not going to be that hard to get Empress Wu either. You either have to wait for COR to come, or you have to get it in Arena. But I'm forgetting what Arena season she comes in. Let me double check that.
This first.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, so it is season 1. So you place high. And this is kind of like, Arena's kind of like the MGE. Like, you place high and at the end you get shards, right? So no one can really get Wu yet, but Wu will be the missing piece for Fire if you did want to go Fire. But like I said, if you really want to try and do 2 marches, that would be my recommendation. Would be invest heavy into Earth and then build up Fire as your second. Or if you want to try and level 2 marches equally, it's really up to you, right? Because the thing is that all of the purple gems that you're going to get, right, and I'll probably have to walk you through, like, dismantling, but, like, what I do, and it's just good practice, is you wanna go in here to your alchemy lab, and then you want to lock. So you click this button to lock, and you want to lock, basically, the epics that you buy or that you're going to be looking to get for your 2 marches, and then you can basically, like, for me, I have all my epics locked. So you can either do this, or you could just lock the epics that you want to hyper focus. So that way you can go into your alchemy lab and just do like the quick one click place. You don't have to sit there and think about it too long, right? And then as you dismantle these purple shards, that's when you go into the market and you will just farm. You'll just fish here daily for for your epic immortals. Now some of them you're going to use green gems for to get shards, right? This is going to help max their skill out. But then for others you can use purple gems for. Unlocking them is the most important, because once you unlock the ones that you want to get, they will show up more frequently, or at least have the opportunity to show up more frequently. But you also want to keep some green gems in your inventory saved, so when they do come up, you can use green gems to purchase, and that's going to help you skill out your immortals in those marches faster. So.
By the way, boss, why do you recommend going fire as a second march?
Well, fire is only recommended for people that are high spenders. I would say, like, if you're mid-high spend, then I would recommend.
Why? Then why?
Because fire is like late game meta comp. Like fire probably is arguably probably the best element comp right now. I don't know if you watched the video I did, but there's a 2-part video where I talked about the immortal flex picks along with the. Okay, yeah, along with the dragon one as well. The main reason is because one, the way you have to factor PvP is that you don't know whose dragon is gonna proc first. So like that's number one. Number two is that you don't know late game if you're gonna do enough damage for the water dragon to actually overheal, or to heal its max for a water march. So you could get into a situation where not enough damage is dealt to the water team, and the water dragon is not healing for its max value. Otherwise, I do think that you could potentially do like a flex pick where you run like a full fire march with the water dragon to maybe get good value, just because the fire comp team is like almost like pure nuke. It's more of like a frontline team that you're going to use that's like just pure damage and attack for the most part. So that could actually be something that the meta sees, where you might work in a healer or even like water dragon in there for something like that. But I think overall the fire dragon stats I think are just more consistent, because fire dragon does the most pure damage or true damage out of any of the dragons.
Okay.
The only dragon that does more is lightning, but the problem with lightning is that you have to proc it, meaning that you have to time out using skills for your immortals. And the problem with that is that based on how PvP is done, it more so mimics arena, meaning that it's basically on auto battle. So you don't have the opportunity to actually time out when you're going to use a lightning immortal skill to then coincide with when the dragon skill is going to proc. You see what I'm saying? So the timings can be off, meaning that you're not going to proc the double damage all the time. This is why running fire is, in my opinion, especially for the fire dragon, is more consistent with dealing the most amount of consistent true damage. The only dragon that would do better than fire would be the water dragon, at least for the actual amount of damage it's going to recover versus damage dealt. But again, you still have to make sure that you're doing enough damage to the two lowest units in order for water to really get its pure value off of. The other way of looking at it is that with fire dragon's first skill, you're damaging all enemies. With water, you're only healing 2, right? So you're only restoring health for 2, meaning that
Actually, I don't speak about water dragon. I don't think that water is better than fire overall in late game.
Oh, agreed. Yes, as far as the entire elements march, yes. I think water does have some benefits to it, but right now I really feel like fire, and then I would say like lightning and wind are probably up there as the top 3. I think water might be a little. It just depends. Like I think earth is really good just because of the counter for water, so that's why water is probably like somewhere floating on that 4th or 5th element position. But yeah, like I said, I would go. Sorry, Sally. I know we're probably going off on a random tangent here, and in case it's like too much information overload, I apologize.
Boss, you said that you don't know which dragon will does his skill first, but um if you're attacking, then your dragon will be using his skill first, and if you're defending, then the enemy's dragon will be using his skill.
Okay, okay. Oh, so you tested that out. See, that was something we were testing in arena, because we noticed that the attacker's dragon usually hit first, but we just weren't sure if that lined up with PvP. Arena is just the closest thing that you can test to PvP. So like I said, there's just no hard confirmation. No one knows for certain because you can't watch replays for when you're PvPing against player cities. So that's why the assumption is just made that arena most likely mimics what the city PvP is. Now, if that's the case, and the attacker's dragon does proc first, then like I said, I think regardless, no matter what, I still think Fire Dragon is probably the best dragon out of all of them, just for all of its passive stats and the fact that it does the most true damage to all enemies. And then, like I said, I think the Fire comp, it is arguably probably near the strongest. Like I said, I think Wind comp has potential. It's just the problem is that Baldwin, even though Baldwin is arguably does the most damage out of an immortal next to Siegfried, the challenge is that Baldwin's skill is percentage based, so it's hit or miss. You don't know if it's going to proc once or up to two additional times. Um, Lightning, I think Lightning is interesting because Lightning is basically like a pure debuff comp and like a CC control comp. So I think Lightning has some potential, for sure. Which is why I kind of put Fire and Lightning as like the top two meta comps, just because of how the skill usage goes. And that's not factoring in things like support skills that you get in Tower of Knowledge. That's like its own separate thing. But anyway, Sally, sorry. To keep it super simple again, I would say go Earth and Fire. And yeah, Manbeard, that's not to say that you can't run Fire for anyone that's not. What I'm tailoring my advice to right now is specifically off of what Sally's budget is and what she's looking to accomplish in the amount of time that she's looking to accomplish it. Right, that's why I'm saying Fire and Earth is the best, because of how quickly Immortals are going to come available to her. She will have access to Empress Wu faster than she's going to have access to Genghis Khan, right, and let alone Baldwin as well. Baldwin might be around the same time. So yeah, yeah, and I made specific reference as well that, you know, again, that's just why I recommend Fire for mid to heavy spenders this early, right? If you are going to spend, but yeah, good minutes. Any enemy of Sea Fortress is bad heroes come my heroes. So yeah, Sally, a lot of it just depends. If you have T3, like T3 can beat T4, right? A lot of it just comes up. I mean, it may not happen super consistently. Sounds like I spent 41K in Rock. Okay, now, yeah, so you know that. Like, I mean, I have friends that have spent that much as well in Rock. So yeah, again, you can win if you're a little less power, right? Like, you could be 2, 3, 5K less March power than Nightmare, and you could just have a counter comp to his, and you can win, right? If it's a neutral comp, or if it's the same comp, then yeah, you might have a little bit more. I would say you might have a little bit more of a challenge. It would really come at that point into your secondary skills that you're getting from a Tower of Knowledge. That is really like the next level main factor. If you're not, and you can also, if you battle him, you can also, and this is the other challenge. Like, this is the other reason why a lot of things are a little more simplified. There's not enough Immortals right now to really pick and choose on troop type Immortals, because troop types have their own advantages and disadvantages. Like, you'll take 25% less damage if you have a counter troop type for what your opponent has. But that's only when that counter troop type is attacking your troop type, right? And there's no counter troop types for Bowman. It's only for Cav. So I don't really factor that too much, because there's not enough Immortals out that have different troop types to where you can really overly customize that. Eventually there will be, but just not right now. That's why we really focus more on like element counters, and then it's really focusing into like your talk skills. and how you're going to be able to counter someone. Now, talk skills are are their own beast, and I'll probably do a big coverage video on that later. I'll probably have to do a couple. But to keep it simple, yeah, I would say, okay, okay, all right, damn, Sally. Hey, look, if you want to be our Shrek champion, I'm all for it. If you enjoy the movie Shrek by chance. But outside of that, yeah. You're like, he zeroed me 5 times. I want to zero him 50 times a day. Yeah, if you want to do that, there's plenty. I mean, again, yeah, you can do that. I would say if you really want to do that, then you really want to go. Sorry, I think you just want to go water, to be honest. Sorry, let me. God, my head's everywhere right now. Yeah. So if he's running fire, because he's running fire as his main. If I were you, I would just go water, to be honest. You can go water, and you can flex your water comp with a different dragon if you want. I still think water dragon's fantastic, just because, again, at max level, we did the numbers, right? The water dragon will heal more than the overall damage that's dealt by fire dragon. The only benefit fire dragon has is that one of his passive skills is a little better than water dragon, and he does damage to everyone. But the amount of damage that the fire dragon does overall across the 4 heroes, you're healed more for that out of the 2 heroes that are healed in your water comp. But still, yeah, if you want to go water is fantastic. And you can, and water actually has Attila, which Attila will do really good work for you. And you can probably level it faster. You just want to go to daily deals. So you do daily deals, and then you buy the daily packs every day. So it's like $6 a day. You buy these every day, and even if you buy them all now, you could get Attila. You get this epic immortal selection chest, because you get 20 of these arcane things every day. You buy this selection chest, and then you pick Attila. And the reason I like Attila is if you look at his skill, right, he silences. So this is actually like a good counter against some of the fire immortals as well, that you can do. Now, it's a chance to silence, of course, so you want to try and get it to max skill as you can, but it makes it so they can't gain energy or use skills, right? So really, Attila's a great counter against like Charles, if you want to delay the proc, any kind of tank build, any kind of buff build. So if they're buffing, typically fire has a little bit more buff orientation on its comp. So yeah, if you really want to beat him, then I would say level up. And then if that's the case, I would say just go water and fire. You could either go water and earth or water and fire. I don't know what his. Does anyone know what his second march is? I don't know what his second march is that he's leveling right now. And
it's wind.
He's building wind second.
He's building wind second. Okay.
Because it's around 47k. When he fights me, he sets that up, and I just cut straight through it with my water team.
Okay. So sorry if he's doing. Yeah, so if he's doing wind, then yeah, I would go water fire. That's what I would do. I would go water fire right now. And then if you want, you can just flex Cleo in. Or you could actually flex maybe someone else in. Cleo's okay. I think you could probably go better flexing someone else in to the fire comp. But yeah, if that's the case, I would go water fire, and you'll build your 2 comps that you'll invest in will immediately counter his primary. But I would go a little heavier into water, because the sooner you go heavier into water, you could maybe be 5k true power away from him and probably still get victories, just based on having a pure counter build. But for water, you're gonna want to go Merlin. Sorry, dear God, you go Merlin, Yoshi, Attila, and then Harold. Is who you're gonna want to go. So, and then for fire, basically what I said. You would go at this point Ashoka, Frederick, Hippolyta, and then you would wait for Wu to come up. And like I said, I'll write all of this out for you too. No, mixing the mixing will only reduce the damage if you mix less than 4. So if you, but this is the thing: the synergy also factors in the dragon, right? So that's why you can get up to 5. So as long as you do 4 or more, the only bonus that you'll miss out on is the 10% HP. But at the moment, that's really the most you can do if you want to build an efficient fire build until Empress Wu comes out. So. But Let me, because I actually have to go here. I think I'm going to be late for leaving now. 10 minutes. Yeah, because I have a lunch appointment with my madre. Got too much information. Yeah, a lot. It'll be easier to write it out. So, and again, you could still work here with Hawaii and Desi. I mean, again, they're both kind of near the top of the boards, and they can give you some good information too, or anyone else. I'm going to go ahead and just turn the stream off. Wow, this is actually going to be